up, chat? What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? We are getting ready for the opening bell of the stock market, which is in about 30 minutes. And Donald Trump is going to be the one to ring the opening bell. Man, we had a good weekend, great weekend, a lot of good soccer games. Last night we had a good hangout. Brazil lost, Mexico lost, and today America plays. Let's see what time America play today. Let's see. At 7 tonight. So, Portugal and Spain play at 2 o'clock. And let's see, let's look at this. This is the remaining brackets. Let's see, full match schedule bracket. Let's just look at the bracket. This is the remaining bracket of the FIFA World Cup. So we got France and Morocco going to play. USA and Belgium play today. Portugal and Spain play today at 2. That's going to be a good game. And let's see. Well, yesterday, man, we had two of my teams got knocked out. Ooh, I would love to have seen Brazil against Mexico, bro. I would love to have seen that game, but they both got knocked out. So it's Norway versus England, which will be a good game. Both those teams are really good teams, you know. But yeah, two of my teams got knocked out, Brazil and Mexico. And now my main team play today, which is America. Can America advance to the next round? And then if America advances to the next round, they play the winner out of Portugal and Spain in the Elite Eight. Yeah, they got some good matchups coming. We already got the Elite Eight, Norway versus England. So, okay. Yes, it's coming along, man. It's coming down to the end. We're getting down to the final teams. We're getting down to those final teams, chat. And guess what? It's getting good. Even though some of my teams have lost, I got one more team that's in it, which is USA, hoping USA can come through and go to the next level. And man, that next game that they got to play, Portugal or Spain, is going to be crucial. Crucial. Yeah, we had a good game last night. You know, a real good game last night. So 4th of July is over with, Chad. 4th of July is over with. Yeah, what's up, chat? Whatever platform you watching, please subscribe to the channel and cut on all post notification bells. I am your host, the one only Stock Sniper, and this is the Stock Sniper Morning Show. We're going to be reacting to a lot of different things. We're going to be reacting to Donald Trump's Mount Rushmore speech. He said a lot of things in there that got people talking, right? So we're going to listen to that and react to that. We also got Donald Trump. He's going to be opening the stock market. He's going to be ringing the bell at 8:30 a.m., which is about 10 minutes. Man, time going by quick. So yeah, that's what we got going on this morning, chat. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Let me get a drink of my water. Whatever platform you watching on, whether it's Kick, Twitch, because we live on Rumble, we live on Kick, we live on Twitch, and we live on YouTube. We live on 2 different YouTube channels. So wherever you watching from, appreciate you for coming through. Drop a comment. Let me know if you had a great weekend. You know, let me know if you're watching the FIFA World Cup. You know, let me know if you're having a great day. Yeah, we had a good discussion last night on the walk down, some people not the walk down, but the hangout last night when we were watching the soccer game. We were watching Mexico versus England. Mexico got beat, so we were having a good discussion last night, and I'm going to say something about that right now. See, the thing is, Chad, is we can't somebody you can't kick a man while he's down, man. That's not, it's not a good thing because everybody have hard times, and hard times, we all go through certain things in life. That's just what life is, and tough people last, So it just, if you end up that type of situation, just continue to push through every single day. Put your plan together, and rock. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? If you just now joining, please subscribe to the channel and cut on that notification bell. This is a Stock Sniper Morning Show. And yeah, I've just got through breaking down a little bit about the FIFA World Cup and what's next for a lot of these teams that are still in it. We still got 2 games coming on today. Going to be huge games. We got America playing. Who else we got playing? Let me relook. We got America playing, and we also have Portugal and Spain. So we got 2 good games on today. Hopefully, America can come through and take care of business, and we can move on to the next round, which will be the final 8. So we're getting close to the end of this FIFA World Cup. Chat has been a good one. I wasn't really a soccer fan, but this FIFA World Cup, now I'm starting to, watch soccer. It's a lot of rules and regulations about soccer, and I'm just learning about it. So, but I like it. I had a good time with the people. We ran into a lot of people, a lot of good people from other countries. Shout out to them. We had a good time. And in my area, there are no more games. We had 9 games out here. And now it's coming to an end. And guess what? We're getting ready for football season. Just like that, chat. Football season will be here in less than 30 days. And that's what we waiting on. Spring training is starting up for a lot of these football teams. And just like that, man, football season is back, chat. August, I think around August. Let's see when let's look at that. When does preseason start? Let's see. In NFL preseason. Let's see. August the 6th. Okay. So let's see more. Okay, so the first preseason game is August the 6th. So football is up next, chat. We got roughly 30 days before the first preseason game. Let me go over here because Donald Trump's supposed to be. Let's see. 5 Trump remarks. Why talk? Okay, I think Trump's supposed to be talking. So let me get all this set up. Let me see. Let me get this set up, chat. We're going to check that out whenever it comes on. We got about 5 minutes. Trump versus Harris. Hey, what's up, Chief Penn? Trump versus Harris. Well, I think we already had Trump versus Harris. And, we already know what happened with that. Trump won at a landslide. So we already had that match. Even though I think that Kamala Harris could have probably done better if, she had more time, so, but They put her in there late. We already know that story. So I think that if Harris would have had a little bit more time to prepare with her campaign and election, I think she would have did a lot better. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? Good morning, everybody. As y'all come in, make sure you subscribe to the channel and cut on all post notification bells so you'll know when we are live. Right now, Donald Trump is going to be ringing the bell, opening bell for the stock market. You know, as we get ready to start Money Monday, and we're also going to be reacting to Trump's Mount Rushmore speech. You know, we're going to try to keep this an hour. We're going to try to keep this 1 hour. So that Trump Rushmore speech reaction, I might wait to do that on the walk down, since it is Money Monday. Since it is Monday, we're depending on how this goes, we might do the reaction to Trump's Mount Rushmore speech a little bit later. Hey, what's up, Damn Media? Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you're having a great, amazing day. Appreciate y'all for coming through, rocking with us. We're waiting on the opening bell of the stock markets, which starts at 8:30. And according to the memo, Trump will be ringing that opening bell, and he's going to be talking about Trump accounts. So if you don't know, Trump accounts, as I change this, Trump accounts is now live. So if you got kids or youngsters, you know, it would be in your kids and grandkids' best interest if you go over here and sign your kid up for an investment account. I don't like to call them Trump accounts. You know, I don't like to call them Trump accounts, chat, because, you know, a lot of people won't do this because it says Trump or whatever. But all it is an investment account, right? And it'll jumpstart. It'll do two things. It'll jumpstart your kid's future, and then it'll also get in your mind and in your subconscious mind about the power of investing, long-term investing in the stock market. It's basically a retirement account. I don't like calling it a Trump account. You know what I'm saying? All it is a retirement account. That's exactly what it is. And it launches, I think it has already launched, right? As we get ready for the stock market to open, I think it has already launched. And if you got kids, young kids, especially if your kid was born like in 2025, if you have a newborn, basically, they're giving $1,000 if you open up a Trump account. You know, it's particularly for investing in the S&P 500. All right, here we go, Chad. Hold up. All right, here we go, Chad.
The American dream belongs to every child, and today we are equipping the next generation with the right to claim their rightful share of it. Through Trump accounts, our president is creating an ownership economy where all citizens become shareholders. 38% of American families do not have any exposure to our great equity markets, but with Trump accounts over time, we can get that number to zero. Already, 6 million American children have signed up, 86% of them with families earning less than $200,000. U.S. Treasury, 1.4 million of those accounts will receive $1,000 from the U.S. Treasury to seed the accounts. When the markets open in just a few minutes,
right now.
Trump accounts will benefit. So ring the bell, Mr. President.
He was late, Chad.
So
Don't
I
ring the
will
bell.
just finish by saying on the eve of on the heels of our 250th anniversary, that this will be one of the president's most enduring legacies, and the great bounty of this will go for generations to come. It is my privilege to invite President Trump to speak after we had two firsts today. First time we've ever had the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. They do a joint opening, and first time we've ever had the opening bell run in the Oval Office. So, Mr. President.
Well, this is very exciting, an amazing achievement. People, we don't know this, Michael, but people have been trying to do this for 30 years, and they were so generous. He put up, and she put up, I think she more than him, maybe. Both very much involved, but Michael and Susan put up $6.25 billion, and I'm sure if I make a phone call, they'll do it again. The job they've done is incredible in life, so we want to thank you very much. Amazing, really amazing. And our friend from Micron, by the way, called me on Friday, and he said Micron's putting in $250 million, and he's done a phenomenal job. And $250 million, and many other companies and people are putting up tremendous amounts of money. And it's something I'm very proud of. Some people think it's going to go down as one of the most important things we've done during the administration. So after a truly historic weekend celebrating the 250th anniversary of America, today we're thrilled to officially launch the Trump Accounts. And we had some beautiful people and speeches and tremendous crowds. We had the biggest crowd anyone's ever seen that unfortunately lightning caused it to leave. And everybody said, well, we'll do it another time. When I heard that, I said, no, we won't. Everybody had left. I said, we're not doing it another time. We're doing it on the 4th of July. And we actually started the speech on the 4th of July. We had to wait a little while, like a couple of hours, let the lightning pass. And everyone had left. And we came back, and they had 150,000 people came back they took their car. They're going back home to Texas. They turned their car around. They came back. You wouldn't believe it, 150. I think the 150 was more impressive than the 425 or whatever it was. It was pretty amazing. And Mount Rushmore, likewise, was so incredible. So people love our country. Our country is doing incredibly well. Strongest military in the world has been displayed with Venezuela, who we're getting along with fantastically now. We've taken hundreds of billions of dollars of oil and given them hundreds of billions. They have more money than they've ever made. And we're doing very well. We paid for the war many times over. And then Iran, we're doing actually equally as well. We're just not getting the kind of coverage that we should. But we have eviscerated them military. And the bottom line is our country is strong. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. I was with President Xi 3 weeks ago, and I said that, and there was no argument. Nobody's arguing. We built it during my first term, and we're using it now for very good reasons, because in this case, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. We can never let that happen. On Saturday, July 4th, our administration deposited one-time seed contributions of $1,000 each into the Trump accounts of over 500,000 American children. It's a lot. And millions more will be getting additional contributions from generous donors like, as I mentioned, Michael and Susan Dell. They are truly incredible people. Go out and buy a Dell computer. He's not doing it for that. But I'll bet his business, Brad, has gotten even bigger. I have a son that loves their laptop. I have to tell you, no, I want a Dell. We're going to get him that money back one way or the other. And then I'll ask for another $6.25 billion. We'll start the whole process all over again. No, he makes an incredible product, and right from the beginning. And Brad Gerstner has been pushing this, so he's a very successful man. Not quite as famous as the Dell family, right, of Michael, but you are. He's an amazingly successful guy, and he's put up a tremendous amount of money. And again, I want to thank Micron and all of the companies that have already called me, and they're putting up a lot of money. This is nothing. This is not me. And putting the name on it was not my idea. That was a whole group of people that passed legislation, because this is all made possible only by the passage of the great big beautiful bill. And I knew that this was happening, but I didn't know. All of a sudden, I see my name on it in the bill. But I'm very proud to have my name. They think it would sell. They said, it'll sell better if your name's on. I said, look, leave it on. But I did not. I just want to know, I did not ask for it. Michael, is that a correct statement? Did I ever go to you and say, Michael, don't put up the money unless I use my name? No. But I have done that in other cases, I will tell you. In certain other cases, I've done that, right, Scott? But not in this case. This is a very special kind of a thing that took place. It's, in a way, it's a miracle. Nobody thought it was possible. Think of it. Children that are born without money, without any money, great parents, they can have everything, can be great, but they have no money. They can become very wealthy children at 18, and they can flip it over, or their people can flip it over into other vehicles at a certain age so that they don't take it out. I would recommend they probably don't take it out, but they can have a lot of money, especially if the market continues. Can you imagine if you did this during Trump a year and a half ago, where the market's gone up at levels? As an example, everybody said when I got elected, there's no way that during the 4-year period we'll ever hit 50,000 on the Dow. And we hit 50,000 on the Dow, I would say, in the first year, records. We had records. What NASDAQ has done, what the New York Stock Exchange, all the stock exchanges, 7,000 on the S&P was impossible during the first year, but they really thought it was impossible in 4 years, and we hit it before the first year. So if the children had invested the money a year and a half ago, we should have acted faster, actually. It's too bad. But it's going to go up. We have a hot country. It's going to go up. I think the market's going to go through the roof. When all those factories open, they're being built all over the country at record numbers. We have never built in the history of our country what we're building now. We have $19.2 trillion, and much of that money is going toward building factories, plants, AI, automobile. We've never built as many automobile plants. They're all over, and they're coming from all over the world. You know why? Because they don't want to pay tariffs. If they build their cars here, they pay no tariffs. So Japan, instead of making them in Japan, or South Korea, instead of making them in Germany with Volkswagen and Mercedes and BMW, they're all building plants here now. They're coming out of Canada. They're coming out of Mexico. Mexico took a lot of our business, so did Canada. They're all coming back. I don't know what the countries are going to do, but they're all coming back. So today, with the ringing of the opening bell for the stock market, those accounts will now begin to grow right along with our booming economy. And I really believe we're going to have the biggest boom of all right now. You haven't seen anything yet. Between individual contributions and the seed funds, $800 million in new capital will be invested in the stock market for America's children this week. And I also think that we're going to be putting numbers in the budget which will be really spectacular, because it's really not costing us anything. We're giving this money to children so they can have a good life. Very early on, they can have a good life. And we're going to be doing also something we're working on later on, and it'll be also, I think, very popular. And I guess the best definition is they have a plan in Australia, which people really like. It's really worked out very well, incredibly well, and very respected. And we're going to be talking about that with Congress and see if we can implement it. And that would be more for grown-ups as opposed to children, but it's something that's going to be great, I think, if we can get it done, and we're going to try very hard. But again, I want to thank Michael and Susan, Brad, and
Talking about the
his son Lincoln, as well as Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, who has really been an incredible. If you're casting a movie, you put him as the Secretary of the Treasury because he's central casting. Do we agree? Wouldn't you say? More importantly, he's done a great job. SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler, who's been phenomenal. Chairman of the SEC, Paul Atkins. Paul, thank you. What a job you do. You know, there's always been a problem there, and with you, everything goes smoothly. Although I have to say, Jay did a very good job also, right? During my first term. But Paul's been incredible. Everybody wanted Paul, and he's exceeded expectations, I will say, and everybody knows it. Thank you, Paul. Great job you're doing. Director of the National Economic counsel, Kevin Hassett. I didn't want to lose Kevin. I said, Kevin, you're at a huge disadvantage because selfishly, for a certain other position, and we have another. We had the two Kevins, and they're both great. And a friend of mine, Ted Cruz, we fought each other for a while, and he's a very tough competitor, and we became friends. We were actually great friends before the campaign, and everybody said, will this ever end? In fact, he was doing a rally. He said, could we do a joint rally? That's like you people doing a joint bell ringing. It's like crazy, right? But he said, remember we did the joint rally outside in Washington. We had a big crowd, and the media was saying, will it ever end? I said, it will, but not yet. But it ended. But then it came together better than ever before. He's done a wonderful job as a senator, highly respected. In fact, somebody said, would you ever appoint him to the United States Supreme Court? Because he's a brilliant lawyer, Ted. I said, well, he's the only one I can think of that's going to get 100 votes. All Republicans will vote for him. All Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out of the Senate. No, if I was having a hard time with getting the votes, I would appoint Ted Cruz. I get 100%, a guarantee.
Yeah, Chad, these investment accounts are very, very, very important as he goes off topic. But if you're just not joining, these investment accounts are now live. So if you signed up for the investment account, you should have $1,000 in your investment account, $1,000. And it's for your kids' future. And every week, every 2 weeks, every month, you and your family, coaches, teachers can put into this investment account. And then when your kid turns 18, you know, they can maneuver it the way they want to maneuver it. If they want to take it out and buy a house, they want to take it out, pay for college, or if they want to transfer it into their own brokerage account, that is also what you can do. So this right here is one of the best things that Trump has done. Only thing I don't think is really that popular that he put his name on it, and that'll make people not want to get it, you know. But don't worry about with the name; it's just a name. But it is an investment account for your kids, you know. And if your kid is born within this presidency, they're going to start it off with $1,000. And it's not about the money. It's not about that. It's about your mind and training your mind about investing, to have your mind on investing. A lot of people's minds are not on investing. A lot of people, you know, their mind is not on investing. So it's like the numbers in the country, around 60% of Americans don't have a 401k, don't have a retirement account. It's a higher number than that of Americans that don't buy stocks for their kids while they're growing up. This right here teaches parents about how important it is to give your kid a jump start in investing. Because what you're going to do once you start investing and you start seeing it's a process and you start putting the work in, guess what you're going to do? You're going to start teaching your kids about investing. So by the time your kids are like 12 or 13, 14, 15 years old, they're already going to be ahead of the game. They're already going to be ahead of the game because you will be teaching them about investing. You know, not only in the stock market, but other assets as well. And that is putting your kid in the best position. Just imagine your kid is 2 years old right now, and they put that $1,000 in there. And then every week, every 2 weeks, every month, you, your spouse, your brothers, your mom and dad, the coaches, preachers, everybody's contributing to that kid's investment account. And y'all doing it every month, every year, until that kid is 18 years old. Just imagine the jump start and the head start you'll give your kid, not just financially, but in mentality and how they'll move. And 8 times out of 10, once you not only put, you don't just, this is what you don't do. You just don't put the money in the account and don't educate the kid. You put the money in the account every week, every month, every 2 weeks, but then you also educate your kid. You sit your kid down at the dinner table and you educate them and you explain to them what all this means. You know, you just don't do it and don't tell them. You do it and tell them. As soon as they're old enough to comprehend, you start teaching them about investing. You start teaching them about finance. You start teaching them about those things, you know, and then once they get old, once they get 15, 18, then guess what? They will be mature enough and they will understand what this is. And then they'll make the proper decisions once they turn 18. What you would probably want them to do is when they turn 18, don't cash it out and buy a car. Roll it over into a brokerage account like Charles Schwab, Fidelity. Roll it over and keep it going, right? That's it. Then now they can take some off, like for a down payment on a house or college, something that's going add on to the investment, right? Like once they build it up, you teach them, hey, kid, if you're going to take it out, use it like to further your education as an example. Use it for a down payment on a house, which those are both investments. Don't get it twisted. Your education is an investment. So all they'll be doing is taking one piece of the investment and rolling it over to another investment, which could be their education. Maybe they want to be a nurse. Maybe they want to be an electrician. Maybe they want to be a doctor. That right there could be college tuition to do what? Increase. So this is very, very important. And that's the mindset that we got to have, chat. It's very, very important. People, do not miss out because it say Trump, family. Don't miss out because it say Trump. Don't. It's an investment account. An IRA. That's exactly what it is. It is a retirement account. And just think about it. Your kid will have a retirement account right now. And it don't take much. When you start early like that, it could be $20 a week, $25 a week, $30 a week, $100 a month. And the great thing is you participate as a family. You participate. Whenever somebody want to give your kid a birthday present or a Christmas present, you give them the account number. Put that money in the kid's retirement account. Beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. To see the goal is, chat, is to get more of America investing. Right now, it's only 50%. A whole lot more than that when it comes to retirement accounts. More than that when it comes to parents having retirement accounts for their kids. That number right there, as far as parents that are opening investment accounts for their kids, that number is about 80 or 90% or even higher, so especially from birth. It's even higher. So let's continue. Where we at? Hold on, chat. Boom.
Opportunities and hope. And as a mother, I know that every child deserves that. So parents, claim your child's Trump account today. Years from now, your child will thank you for it.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having us today. It is truly an honor to be here for this occasion. For the last couple of days, we have
Just like she just said, Chad, if you got small kids, get off this live right now and go right here and claim your Trump account. If you have small kids, go right now. Get off this live. Get off this live right now and go claim your Trump account. It's free. Go right now and go claim it. There goes illustration of the numbers. Go claim that Trump account right now. Go claim it right now. Get off this live. If you got small kids, get off this live and go claim your Trump account. If you don't like Trump, don't worry about the name. Don't worry about the name being on it. Worry about the investment account. Don't worry about the name.
Many, many generations, we have come together in unity. And today, the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange have come together in unity for a great common cause, the Trump accounts. The Trump accounts are underpinned by the U.S. capital markets, which are really the engine of the greatest economy in the world. But part of that promise of the markets is to make it so every American can share in that great economy. And today, with the Trump accounts, the next generation of Americans, every American, will have the opportunity to be a part and share in this prosperity of this nation. So I want to thank you for your vision, Mr. President, on behalf of NASDAQ and on behalf of the millions of families who will benefit from what you've created. So thank you.
So hi, I'm Jeff Sprecher, the Chairman and CEO of the parent company, the New York Stock Exchange. One of the things that we celebrate on Wall Street, and we all in this room, we talk about Wall Street as the capital markets, and I don't think people realize that partly why Wall Street has its prominence is that our first president was sworn in on Wall Street, and the New York Stock Exchange was started to finance a brand new government and a brand new vision for a country. So it's amazing that 250 years later, this president is making that available to all Americans directly, and so it's incredibly fitting in my mind that we're here in this capital, which obviously is no longer New York, to widen the markets for everybody in the country. So thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here. This is truly a remarkable day, remarkable setting for what has been a historic event. And at NASDAQ, every day we get to see brilliance come through the doors, companies that have created jobs, that have created an economy, and now the fact that it's able to be shared for all these children is just a remarkable, remarkable feeling to be here and to look what we've created. So congratulations. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you very much.
It's great to be here, Mr. President. We wouldn't be here without you. It was just over a year ago that Michael and I shared with you the idea for the Invest America Act. We had been working on it for 4 years. We had tried to get it done under a prior administration. Kevin and I met in the Speaker's office some 3.5 years ago on the idea. It took this president and his entrepreneurial courage less than a minute to say, this must happen. This is the whole purpose of my presidency, the Main Street agenda, the 70% of people who have been left out and left behind, who feel they're no longer connected to the American dream, and he called the Speaker and told him to put it in the reconciliation bill. That, my friends, is leadership. It doesn't just happen. In fact, it rarely happens in a place like Washington. And his courage and his leadership of this administration, and then the great partnership of my friends Michael and Susan Dell and so many others, to bring this to fruition. But let me be clear. Today is day one, Mr. President. We're committed to the next 250. And what that means is not 1 million kids in America, not 2 million kids in America, every child in America. All 70 million kids under the age of 18 deserve to have one of these accounts. We're going to get the accounts open for them. We're going to get them fully funded. The outpouring of support from America's corporate leaders, small business leaders, moms and dads, great philanthropists, we believe will raise over $100 billion for America's kids over the course of the next 12 months. This isn't a program. This is a transformative platform. Think of 1935 Social Security scale platform. Over the next 15 years, over $2 trillion will go into the pockets of kids and families that would have otherwise had zero, that would have been left out of America's capital markets. That is a legacy worthy of the great mission of this administration, and it would not have happened without you and the leadership of your administration. So thank you.
Mr. President, I want to congratulate you on your historic leadership. The document hanging on that wall just turned 250 years old, as did the nation that it created. And the bell that you just rang on the Resolute desk, I believe, heralds in that the next 250 years will be even greater than the first 250.
You mean the bell that I'm not giving back?
I think everyone knew you were going to keep the bell. And on behalf of all Americans, thank you for getting rid of that ridiculous red card. This is his. That was interesting. It was spectacular. There was a reason the FIFA trophy sat here for as long as it did. Mr. President, this program, a second ago, Brad made reference to 1935 and Social Security. Trump accounts are in many ways Donald Trump's New Deal. But instead of having government taking care of everyone, Trump accounts are about making every child and every American a capitalist. Every one of our kids is now going to be an owner of the biggest producers in our country. Kids, you guys there, each of you are getting an account. These folks here gave you $250. That's a lot of money that you have right now. And you know what? With that $250, you've purchased a little bit of a bunch of big companies. You know McDonald's? You now own a little bit of McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, you can look around and say, I own this place. If you get on an airplane and fly, you look at a Boeing airplane, you now own a little bit of Boeing. Can you believe it? You're an owner of Boeing? That is transformational. That changes the way every child looks at the world and the ability to.
And that's what you tell your kids when you buy your kid their first stock. It's not just a stock. You're a part owner of a company. You're a business owner now. A small part. But anything is better than nothing. And that's what he just said. That's what you tell your kids at the dinner table at night.
From people like Michael and Susan and Brad. Accounts that, let me say to every parent at home, please right now go to trumpaccounts.gov. Go to trumpaccounts.gov, sign your kids up. To every employer, if you're not contributing to the accounts of the employees of your kids, do so now. Match their contribution, double their contribution. And to philanthropists, go adopt a state. Go adopt your city. Go adopt a school. Go say, the kids in my community, the kindergarten class here, we're going to help them get started. This is a moment, I believe, transformational to make sure the next 250 is even better than the first. Thank you, Mr. President.
Rich man, he adopted an entire state.
Yeah, so I'm from Indiana, and we're going to add $250 following Michael and Susan to all kids in the state of Indiana under the age of 5. Ray Dalio in Connecticut. We have lots of philanthropists. They're adopting states, cities now. We have the city of San Francisco has been adopted, the city of Oakland, and recently with with Katie, we've adopted a school in the city of Durham. We've adopted a Boys and Girls Club in Philly. We've adopted, a Big Brothers Big Sisters in Newark, New Jersey last Wednesday. And it's all to show the country the art of the possible. When you create an open source platform, anybody can give to anybody. These accounts have a QR code in them, and somebody sends you the QR code and you just double click on your phone and money goes into the account. Thank you to Joe Gebbia and the National Design Studio for their incredible work on the account. Thank you.
So, thank you, Mr. President. Paul Atkins, Chairman of the SEC. So this is an amazing day, and really I salute you and Senator and Secretary Bessent for all that you've done, to help these accounts go, and then the philanthropists who have also put money into it. But the Senator has it exactly right. We have to remember that all the folks who signed that document 250 years ago, they understood well that America was actually an investment before it was a nation. So joint stock companies were stood up in England and France and the Netherlands to establish New Amsterdam, for example, now New York, and to support the people there. So that is in our blood as a nation. And everywhere I go around the world to talk to my counterparts, finance and other regulators around the world, they always ask me, how do we replicate America's whole ethos of investment and risk-taking? Well, this is exactly how to do it. And as the Senator said so well, for the next generation to have a feeling that they have a real stake in our economy, in the products that are made for their benefit and for the benefit of the world, frankly. So I think it's an exciting day. Thank you very much for your leadership, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to add a couple things. There have been so much wonderful things have been said, Mr. President, about what you're doing. This is absolutely transformational. I'd like to tip my cap to Secretary Bessent. His staff originally told him when this idea was floated that it would take a year or two. And Scott said, no, it's got to be the 4th of July. And they delivered. I'd like to thank the designers of the app, because every kid, as Scott arranged and as you were key to discuss, every kid can look at what firms they own. So it's not just going to say S&P 500. It's going to be you have a little bit of this, you have a little bit of that. And so we believe what it's going to do, sir, is connect America's youth to our vibrant economy in a way that's never been done before. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So everybody, we thank you. And the press has been very kind about this. This is one they have a hard time attacking. We're all in this together. You have children. A lot of those children already, they have their accounts. We're going to see tremendous money come in from wealthy people and pretty wealthy people and very wealthy companies. And I'm getting calls from everybody to put money in. And they're going to put tremendous numbers of dollars in. And these children are going to have actually accounts. They're going to learn about finance a little bit. They can watch it. We're going to all watch it grow together. And we're going to have a whole different planet when they turn 18. It's going to be a lot different when you turn 18 and you have no idea what's going on and you have no money and no hope. They're going to have great hope. It's the American dream. It's a big part of the American dream. So, again, Michael and Susan and Brad and everybody that has worked so hard, it's an honor to be. This is truly an honor to be involved in something that's pioneering, but really not, because for so many years, I said for many, many years, decades, they've tried to do it. They've never been able to pull it off. So I just want to thank all of you guys. And I think it's such a great tribute to come together. So people said, no, there must be a mistake. You mean you're having separate meetings? I said, no, just watch at 9:30, right? So it's a great honor. And thank you for being so fair about it.
Wait, is that it? I wonder if that's it, Chad. But yeah, these accounts, investment accounts, are very, very, very important. Very, very important. So, I mean, If you got small kids, it'd be very smart to go sign up for these accounts, these investment accounts, and jumpstart your kids' future. You know, your child's future depend on it. You know, because the goal is, because like they say, 60 or 70% of Americans don't invest in the stock market. 60 to 70% don't have a company 401k plan. And even higher percentage of that don't invest for their kids at a young age. But this does. It jumpstarts every kid in America. And it teaches them about investing. It teaches them about how this U.S. economy and the world economy really works, right? It also, it gives you ownership of some of these companies that we use every single day. Like we're using a lot of these companies right now, YouTube, Google. A lot of people got Apple phones, Microsoft. We're using a lot of these companies as customers right now. So if you're a customer, why not? Why you wouldn't want to be an investor? A lot of people want to complain about investing, but you're a customer of these same companies. Amazon, right? You go flying, Boeing, like they just mentioned. You know, so the best thing to do is to get off this live right now if you got small kids. Really, if you got a kid that's 8 months, a year, because guess what? Once you sign up for these Trump accounts, they're going to give your kid $1,000, and your kid will be a business owner at a very, very young age, which is great news. You know, so, you know, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more on the walk down. If it don't rain, it looks like it's going to rain. But if it don't rain, I'm going to be talking about this more during the walk down. Now, I had another topic, but this is so important, right? This really, really matters. So today is the opening day of these Trump accounts. And I don't like calling them Trump accounts, you know, because that'll make people not want to participate. You know, but that's not the mindset. They are investment accounts for kids, right? And like he said, you have a QR code or whatever, and you can, you know, and you can give it to different people and let them put money into your kids' investment account right along with you. It's like me. I'm a grandfather, right? I can automatically put money in my grandkids' Trump accounts whenever I get ready. My pastor, my grandkids' teachers, my grandkids' coaches, other family members can automatically, which is great. Treasury accounts, which is great. Really great. And then inside of the app, it don't just say S&P 500 or VOO, which are ETFs and index funds. It just don't say the index fund. It breaks down what percentage you own of each one of these companies. And it lets the kid know, I like McDonald's. This is how much I own in McDonald's. This is how much I own in Google. This is much I own in Apple. This is much I own in Amazon. This is much I own in et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They back now. Very, very crucial. It's a mindset, right? It's a mindset. It's training of the mind.
You see? That's what I call a reporter. He's actually a great reporter.
So he'll directly benefit from the accounts.
Good. Thank you.
fast forward 18 years from now, and a lot of these kids are 18, and they can look at the Trump accounts and they see hundreds of thousands of dollars from them. What lesson do you hope they'll walk away from and think about you regarding this program, and do you think this will go down as one of, if not the signature policy achievements of your
I hope so. I think it will. I really believe it's going to be one. I think we've done a lot of great things, but I think this will be one of the top. It's going to teach children to be entrepreneurial as opposed to the threat of communism that you're seeing a lot. This is not social democrats, by the way. That's a beautiful, we're social democrats, they say. They're not social, they're communists. They want to destroy our country. We're not going to let that happen. But this helps, even from the parent standpoint. You know, they see their child getting richer and richer as the market goes up. If it goes down, they don't lose anything, and they make money, they have money. But if it goes up, they could become actually rich. And the parents are going to be watching, and we're all going to be watching, and we're part of a very big and very beautiful game. It's going to bring them into the mainstream. It's going to bring them into recognizing, like Michael Dell. I said, how the hell did you start this thing? What he built is incredible. Now his product is great. But as he said, he made them, I guess, laptops. He made a better laptop on his bed in a dorm than they sold in the store. So he started selling them, I guess, probably during college. I don't know where the hell you started selling them, but you sold a lot of them. And it just cascaded. And then his greatest deal was he met Susan, and she probably guided him beautifully. That was probably his most important thing. And they have great children, great everything. But, you know, it's a beautiful story. Think of it. They gave $6.25 billion. And there's a rumor he's giving more. I don't know if it's true. I'm not holding him. I mean, it's hard to say, hey, how about doubling up, right? But think of that. And started with no money. He had a great brain, which is, you know, that's better than money, I think. But, you know, it's like an amazing story. And that can happen with other people. Maybe not to that extent. Maybe there could be a few to that extent, but not to that extent. But that can happen with some of the people here, some children living in poverty. It can happen. And now they have a real chance. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Yeah, please.
I wanted to ask you, can you describe your phone call with Gianni Infantino about the red card? And Belgium is appealing the decision. What's your reaction?
You're asking me about the whole soccer thing? So, yeah, I did. I spoke to Gianni, who's highly respected, who's produced the most successful World Cup in history by, they say, 4 times. This isn't just a success. I actually said, Johnny, we've got all these games. Each one is turning out to be a Super Bowl. And we have all these games. You know, when you think of it, every game is like a Super Bowl. Yes, I watched last night. What a game that was with Mexico and England. I mean, 2 countries, I don't know the players, although I think Kane is a great player. See, I played golf with him, and I like him a lot. He's a good golfer, too. But he's really great. But I watched, and no reason for me to watch, and you couldn't take your eyes off the game. Because I said, Johnny, you know, you have all these games, because they added games. In a country where really it's not our main sport, to put it mildly. And this has been 4 times more successful. He told me last night, the numbers are 4 times greater. They think 50 or 60 million people are going to be watching the game tonight. I mean, you know, this is getting to be Super Bowl numbers. But you have a game tonight, and they think they're projecting a minimum of 50 million people watching a game. We call it soccer. It's called football, I guess, but we can't really call it football because it gets there's a little confusion. So yeah, you call it soccer. We're the only ones that do that, but we have football, and football's great. But I've never seen anything like it. So I saw the play, and I'm a person that loves sports and was a good athlete, and I understand sports really well, really well. And that wasn't a foul. That wasn't even an infraction. That was 2 guys running full speed that happened to crash into each other. You can't take your foot and properly place it on somebody else's foot when you're going, no, these were 2 great athletes that got tangled up, and this referee, who is a little bit suspect, if you check his past, I don't want to say that because I don't like to create controversy, but very suspect. if you'd like, I'll provide you with the past. He made a call that nobody could believe. You know, even people on the other side, they say, oh, we got lucky. Wow, that's... And it's very interesting. They say they don't show them in slow motion. And I never realized that. I never heard of that before. That they're not allowed to review in slow motion because it's so different. Because you'll take one little quarter of a second and you'll see that a hand is touching a neck, or you'll see something. Whereas when you see it in fast motion, it will look like two guys collided, which is really what happened. They got sort of entangled. He didn't do anything wrong, and he's our best player or one of our best players, a very vital player. And he gave him a red card. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't think it meant much. Then I started hearing that means he can't play in the next game, at least in the next game. I said, boy, that's a big, you know, if it happened to another player, it would have been unfair. But when they take your best player, or just about, they have some great players, and they say you can't play, that's very unfair. That's, you know, it's one thing to penalize somebody for the game, but how do you penalize them for a game that hasn't been played yet? It's very unfair. You can't do that. So, yes, I asked for a review by FIFA. I spoke to a man who's highly respected, and by the way, whose level of respect has gone up tenfold. And he was good before this started, but you know, he really pushed it in this country. I'm the one that got them to do it. It was not Biden. Biden was asleep. I got him to do it. In fact, it was very sad because I got him to do
Biden
it.
alone.
And if the progression was normal, I would have been retired now. The Democrats are saying, man, we should have just let him have his way. We would have had him gone. But I said, you know, the saddest thing is I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. I tried to claim 250 years too, but that didn't work. They said, that one is what it is. No, I tried, but it didn't work. But wait. So I got him. I was so proud of it. And then I realized that, you know, I wouldn't be president during that because I would have been out of office by that time. I felt badly. The beautiful thing about what I did is I ran. I never thought of it. And then all of a sudden I realized, you know, I just got the Olympics, and I totally got that myself. And I just got FIFA. I got that myself. We gave a little piece to Canada, gave a little piece to Mexico. I got that myself. And a lot of people helped, like that man right there, Kevin. A lot of people, you know that. We worked hard on that, and we got it. But what we didn't know is how successful it was going to be. I didn't know. I said, Johnny, is anyone going to show up? Because, you know, we're not really, I think soccer's doing much better, but I couldn't imagine. If you would have said to any very smart of these, like people like this, that the numbers they're doing now would be happening, they've never seen anything like it. Think of it. Take the most successful Olympics or the most successful FIFA, and you look at what's happened. You look at the numbers for this in the United States, just compared to FIFA, and it's numerous times more. It's not like 10% more, 2% more, 5% more, which is more expected. It's like 4 times more successful than anything they've ever done. In fact, I said to Johnny, let's do it again next time. And he said, that would be hard. I said, no, you do it again. But at the same time, you give it to somebody else for the next one. I don't know. It's a little crazy idea. But all I did, I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, you know, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was 2 great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything that, you know, would be different. And I think it's a terrible, if they wouldn't allow, you know, a top player, maybe the best, maybe among the best players on the team to play, I think it would have had a big stain. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do, but and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision, and they made the right decision because, number one, it wasn't a foul. And you want to see a game with your best players. You don't want to say, how would you feel if I took, we take Messi out? Look, you know, he ran into somebody. Or we took Ronaldo, you bumped into somebody, we're going to take you out of a game. He's great. Or Harry Kane, we're going to take you out of the game, Harry, because you happen to hit somebody a little bit
Trump's
harder.
something else, Chad.
You can't do that. If you would have taken him out, I think it would have really stained this incredible champion. We got to have our best players, and Belgium's got a great team, by the way. We got to have our best players, and they have to.
Y'all do understand that's an American player he talking about. America's best player. America play tonight, 7 o'clock. I will be going live. That guy is America's best player, and Trump got them to overturn it.
They talk about the red card like it's fine. Nobody talks. The referee's decision to red card. I didn't know what the hell a red card was. When I found out, I said, you got to be kidding. This guy just hands up, okay, your best player is not going to play next week or in the next game. I said, wow, that's a lot of power. That's terrible. But then I looked at his past, and it wasn't so great. Okay.
Bro.
Prime Minister before the game.
I didn't think of it, but I would. He's a good man. I will tell you this. The people in Belgium, if they win the game, they can be very proud. If they would win the game with a player missing, it would have been a different feeling. You can't do that. And I'm very glad all I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this. This man is a...
What are the chances, Chad? I said this a couple of weeks ago, that Trump rigged this thing and America ended up winning the whole thing. What are the chances of Trump rigging FIFA and America ends up winning the World Cup?
What is your plan to facilitate broad adoption of these? And you mentioned, the communist issue, particularly that crowd, to get them to participate in this.
Yeah.
Since I see Anthony Populato's here, and he's probably going to ask, is Bitcoin in any way going to be related to this in the future? Are there plans to put Bitcoin into Trump accounts?
Well, I've become a big crypto guy only for one reason. If we don't have it, China's going to have it, and they would like to have it. But now they're not even trying that hard because we've taken over crypto. But I'm a fan. I wasn't initially. I didn't know much about it. But for some of my first term, I wasn't much involved, but I'd watch. And I watched it grow, and it's a huge industry. And I got involved in a little bit for politics, because I realized there are a lot of people love crypto. And even me as a businessman, I'd see a lot of money starting to come in with Bitcoin and, the different forms. And I said, this thing's got a lot of life. And then I hear China was going to make a heavy move on it, just like they do for AI. By the way, we're leading China substantially in AI, by substantial. And one of the reasons is when they build these big plants, I allow them to build their electric generating units, whether they use nuclear or oil and gas, whatever they want to use, they can use, except wind. We don't allow wind. Wind is terrible. It just doesn't work. It's too expensive, no good, bad for the environment. But, and they're building their own plants with some of the greatest electric producing plants that you've ever seen. I mean, they're teaching the companies that produce electricity, they're teaching them how to do a plant. So that was my decision. That was my idea, because we have an old grid. It's tired. It's old. It would take years to fix it. And now we're actually taking the excess energy that they make. We need more than double the energy. If you take all of the electric that we have now, you need more than double it to power that industry, which is so shocking. When I first heard that, I said, no, you mean like a little, I couldn't believe that, Jeff. I heard more than double. So all the electric we make for everything to power that one industry. Now, with that being said, it's a massive industry, and it's going to be for good. I mean, look, we're going to have guardrails, and we have guardrails. You saw that a couple of weeks ago. We were able to stop something that we didn't like. And by the way, the company was very good. They were very good. You know that. But it can be used for tremendous good, and mostly good and some bad, and the bad we have to stop. But it's a massive industry, and I think things are going to happen. What you're seeing here with the kids, I think something could happen in that regard too, with a contribution to the people of our country. I'll give you a little inside information. Am I allowed to do that? Well, we have Paul. Am I allowed to do that? That's a little inside information. You understand? Scott, you know what I'm talking about. No, I think you're going to see a contribution made by those, because they're making tremendous amounts of money. They're also creating tremendous, the medical the things that are happening in the world of medicine because of AI is not even believed. I'm friends with many doctors because of what I'm doing as president, and I've become very friendly with a lot of them. They're great. They're great as long as they tell me I'm healthy. Okay, when they tell me I'm healthy, so far so good. Where's a piece of wood? But a couple of them got together last week and they said, we can't believe the progress that's been made in disease. Things that they didn't think would happen for 10 years happen in a matter of minutes, a matter of seconds. So that's going to be used for good. But we're leading China by a lot. We're leading everybody. Crypto's the same thing. If we didn't do it, China would do it. It's a massive industry. And frankly, when I went very pro-crypto, as you know, Biden was totally against it, but he has no idea what crypto is. He had no idea. He didn't have a clue. But they were very violently against it. They were putting people in jail. What they were doing to the crypto was horrible. It's amazing it survived that onslaught. It was a weaponization of government. So when I went very much for it, and I think I got 100% of the vote. But what happened is, I think it was 100 million people. That's a big industry, and that means some pretty good things. But what happened is Biden then, after he was getting killed, he was down so much, all of a sudden they became pro-crypto. And their head of the SEC was horrible, unlike Paul, who's really good. No, I mean, he's the best man for the job. Everybody wanted him. But he was horrible. What he was doing to the crypto, they were putting people in jail. Oh, you know that better than anybody. Good people, great, prestigious people. They were putting them in jail. And I said, you got to be kidding. And they were trying to destroy the industry. Okay, ready? So now I'm killing Biden. I'm winning by so much. And all of a sudden he becomes totally pro-crypto. They dropped all investigations of everybody. They allowed people to come out of jail. And every time I see a crypto guy where they dropped an investigation, I said, you're lucky I'm president, because I don't know if you know, the Biden administration became totally pro-crypto that last couple of months because they were getting killed. Because crypto has a tremendous audience. So yeah, I'm very much for crypto because it's not a question of a personal thing. Because I let my kids do whatever the hell they do, they can do. I don't ever talk to them about it. I'm allowed to, I think. I'm allowed to, but I don't bother. Because this office is a much higher calling. So I make, as president, the president of the United States get essentially $2.5 million for 4 years, right? Wait a minute. It's spread out over a period of 4 years. It's about $2.5 million. I waived my salary. Now, I figured, because we've had other wealthy presidents. We've had Kennedy, and we've had FDR was very wealthy. Teddy Roosevelt was wealthy. And one of the wealthiest, believe it or not, was George Washington, who wasn't in the White House, but there are pictures of him surveying this ground. He's the one that sort of picked the location. I think he made a good choice. He picked a good location. But George Washington had two desks in his pre-White House. One was, and they were right next to each other. One was for business, and one was for the presidency. He had two desks in the same room. And so you're allowed to, but I choose not to. I don't talk to my kids about, this stuff. But I will say this, to me, cryptos are very powerful. A lot of people are using it. Bitcoin, they're using it at levels that I don't think anybody understands really how powerful. And if we didn't do it, China would do it in a minute. And if we let our guard down on AI, if I didn't come up with the idea for electric plants, producing plants, they become a utility. Basically, these guys producing, you might as well put them down. Paul, I think you should mark them down as utilities because, frankly, in many ways, I'm more impressed by their electric plants. And they're building them on top of the buildings, alongside of the buildings, standalones right next door. But you have to see some of the electric producing, the generating plants that they're making, nobody's ever seen because they're brilliant people. And it's a fantastic thing. But if I didn't come up with that idea, maybe somebody else would have. I doubt it because it's too simple. I mean, it's such a simple idea. Do you know that your friends, Michael, when I came up with that and I told Mark Zuckerberg, I told Bezos, I told all of the people, AI, Sam, Elon, I told them all, I said, no, I'm going to let you build your own plant and I'm going to get you fast approvals. They thought I was kidding. You know, they said, and they would submit plans without an electric plant. And I'd get calls from Lee Zeldin, who's a star, environmental, fast approvals, good approvals, but fast. And they call up and they say, sir, these plants are not taking advantage. And I call them, I said, why aren't you producing? They said, we thought you were, every one of them, they thought I was kidding because they can't believe it. Number one, they can't believe that they're approved in a period of a matter of weeks, because if this was somebody else, it would be 20 years before. They're all under construction. We do rapid approvals. And some are nuclear plants, because nuclear is now really hot and safe. You know, I was not a huge proponent until 2 or 3 years ago, and then I saw what my uncle was a big nuclear guy at MIT. He knew nuclear better than anybody, I think. Anybody in the world, probably. He was the smartest guy. He was at MIT.
Chad, Trump running his mouth today. He got to be in a good mood, boy. He running his mouth.
Nuclear is going to be the most important thing, but it's also got to be watched. It's got to be watched very carefully, because it can build the world, but it can also destroy the world. He said that. I said, Uncle John, that was a long time ago. But he was exactly right. He called it exactly right. But what they've done with nuclear in terms of generating energy is absolutely, you know, a submarine can run at full speed for 30 years without having to refuel. The only thing it has to do is come up every 90 days for food. They can't solve the food problem. But think of it, a submarine, without having to gas up, can run for 30 years at full speed without stopping. I mean, who would believe a thing like that? But fortunately, we have the best technology and we have the best submarines. It's something we lead the world in by 15 years. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
What?
I said thank you so much, Mr. President. Jennifer Schonberger of the Oppenheimer. On the Trump accounts, SpaceX president has said that she's going to donate shares to the Trump accounts. Have you spoken at all with Elon Musk about further share donations, as well as other corporate leaders about share donations specifically?
Look, I'm like a cheerleader for geniuses. I love geniuses. I love high IQ people. He's a high IQ person. I love high IQ people. And I speak to Elon, I speak to Mark, I speak to Jeff, I speak to everybody. By the way, in the first term, less so. In fact, at my first inauguration, none of them were standing behind me. They were just the opposite. And now at this last inauguration, every one of them was standing behind me. It was sort of amazing. No, I speak to all of them. And I encourage them. I want them to be tremendously successful. Now, there's a thing called TikTok. Have you heard of it? I was watching a show this morning, Maria Bartiromo. She's fantastic. And on her show, they were talking about the dangers of TikTok. And it's Chinese, you know, a whole thing with spying and what they're doing with it. Well, except it was announced about 2 days ago, the new numbers just came out. You know who the number one person in TikTok is by far? Trump, me. I just got, I'm number one. Like Taylor Swift was number 11. I'm number one in TikTok by far. And the numbers just came out, and I said, well, you know, I'm hearing about how they influence. They're talking about their tremendous danger because they influence, but if they influence so badly, I mean, I'm saying all things like I love our country, we got to stop communism, we got to this and that, we're doing a lot of things, but I'm by far number one. It was sent to me by, you know, the list comes out, number one, number two. I was number one by a lot. So I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe they're bad, maybe they're not. I know one thing, great American people, tremendous business people and companies bought it. I called President Xi and everyone said he was a hard no. He was a hard no, but I said, you know, it's a good thing for TikTok, but it's good for us too. American companies, great ones, own our TikTok and it's very influential, but I'm number one by a lot. So, you know, I hear this thing was on today, Gordon Chang. I like Gordon Chang, but he's always so negative. You know, nobody's been tougher in China than me, but Gordon Chang, and he's a nice guy. It's like the world is falling down. It's not true. It's not true. We have to be careful because China's a great competitor. But, you know, he was talking about, we must stop TikTok. I'm number one on TikTok. I think it helped me win the election in a landslide, if you want to know the truth. Yeah, please.
Do you work on the White House? Are you building a helipad? Are you
Yeah.
building the helipad?
That's a hell. Yeah. So for 50 years, we've been landing helicopters on grass. The grass is wet.
Yeah, he in a good mood. He on the road this morning, chat. They need to ask him everything they want to ask him right now, because guess what? He feeling good this morning. He feeling real good. Look at him. Yeah, Trump feeling real good this morning.
Half the size of this desk. Think of it. You're landing a big chopper. But, you know, years ago, and they just got produced, but during my administration, they ordered brand new helicopters, the big ones, the ones for president. It's called Marine One. And our other Marine Ones are about 40 years old. They're old, like Air Force One. You know, it's time to make a change. And other presidents wouldn't do that because they think it's not good to make a change to luxury, but you got to do it. You know, other countries have them. So Sikorsky we ordered a number of Sikorskys as the helicopters back and forth. Well, they're about 2.5 times more powerful than the old ones. And when you land on the grass, it's not that the grass gets discolored, it gets ripped out. And it was all over. They landed it once, and nobody planned for this. This was a little bit of a planning mistake. So they landed the helicopter, and half of the grass was sitting in front of the Oval Office front door. The rest of it was scattered all over I mean, literally, it didn't singe it. It also singed it, by the way. But it literally lifted, because of the power. It's tremendous. And everybody said, well, we'll keep using the old helicopters when we have to land at the White House. And for everything else, we use the new helicopters. They said, that's a pretty expensive deal. You wouldn't do that for your company. You'd figure out an.
Keep the questions coming. Keep them coming.
Because they've been great for my business. I think they're incredible. So Sikorsky 76, right? And I always was lucky. I always got helipads. Other people don't. Very hard to get. The hardest thing to get is a helipad. Okay, there's no harder zoning thing to get is a helipad. And I had like 7 of them at different places, so I could go around by helicopter. And I said to the people, have you ever thought, these are generals, Air Force generals that are brilliant, and you know, you get used to a certain thing. They'd bring out the metal, but this was, now the metal didn't work because the power of these helicopters is so great it ripped up the grass, right? So I said, has anybody ever thought of a helipad? Because I build them, and they go quickly, and it solves all of the problems. Look, he's laughing. It's true, right? It's crazy. So it was funny. I said, has anyone ever thought of a helipad? I had like 6 generals in front of me.
Trump on the road this
wow,
morning.
that's a good idea. You know, it's like the paperclip.
God damn.
It was such a simple invention. Probably he says that about a laptop. To him, it's a simple thing. To other people, wow. But the paperclip. 200 years ago, a gentleman came up with the idea for a paperclip. And he made a lot of money, became very rich. Not as rich as Michael Dell, but rich in those money. And what happened is everybody was jealous. They said, why didn't we think of this? Same thing with a helipad. So now we're building a helipad, beautiful helipad. And it's got the seal of the White House on it, in granite, in carved granite. It's really a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you, Sikorsky is paying for it. You know why? Because they didn't tell us how powerful these helicopters were, and they felt a little bit guilty. They sold us I like power, by the way. I think it's great for a helicopter. But they probably, I don't know, they felt a little guilty, and they are paying for the cost of it. It's about $5 or $6 million. They're paying the full cost. And when I heard they were paying the cost, I went out and said, let's do a beauty. Let's not just do a piece of concrete and paint it white, which is why I just put beautiful concrete, nice, and we paint it white. This one is a beauty. It's got the seal of the White House. It's beautiful, the eagle, and it's carved out of granite. It's done by some of the most talented people you'll ever meet. And you're landing on granite, which is the strongest stone that we can, like the outside walk is black granite. That's 35,000 pounds per square inch. It's got a 1 million plus lifetime. It's the strongest stone there is. And that's being used out there, and it's going to be, I think, really beautiful. And You can see the size. It's going to be beautiful. And it can be used for other things. When helicopters aren't landing, you can have other things out there like events. You could have news conferences literally on it because it's the right size. So by doing this, we solve the problem, and we'll.
Those guys in the background are thinking what I'm thinking. Golly, man, he's going on and on and on. Trump is energized this morning.
American soccer fans are obviously very happy, but what do you say to the critics who say this starts a precedent which other powerful leaders?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can only say this. I had nothing to do with the decision. What I did have to do is, I said, I think it should be reviewed because I watched the play, and he didn't do anything wrong. You know, got to look. By the way, if he did, I'd feel differently probably. If he punched him in the face, if he did something wrong, I thought you're young, wonderful basketball player, Caitlin, I thought that she was treated rather rough, if you want to know the truth. That was a much different kind of an event. That was a pretty bad event. But in this case, he didn't do anything wrong. Two people ran into each other. And by the way, if you look at that game, there were 10 instances where it was much rougher than that. So I think it starts with the fact that it shouldn't have been a foul. And then you have to look at the person that raised the card, and that's up to you people. You look at. But I didn't think it was very good because it was not good. And I think that Johnny is brilliant at what he does. And I think they made, I don't think it was his decision. It's a big committee. And after reviewing it, I think they said, look, this game would have a big mark on it. If we lost, if we won, no matter what happened, you have to let them use their best players. And the game tonight's going to be amazing, and we're going to have a full team, and Belgium's going to have a full team. And you know what? If they beat us, then they can be really proud. The other way, if they beat us, we'll say I say it was rigged, just like the election was rigged in 2020, but I won't get into that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The Trump accounts are great. Thank you.
Y'all heard what he said, chat? Trump said that which I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm going live tonight. USA versus Belgium. This is what they're talking about. It's big politics behind that game. That's why America's best player, that's who they talking about. The guy that got red card. Red card is he had a hard foul and they gave him a red card, which is like getting kicked out of the next game. But Trump did some strings. Trump pulled some strings. And guess what FIFA did? They granted the dude the right to play in the game tonight. The guy's America's best player. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I was just thinking. I said, you know what? What are the chances that Donald Trump will pull some strings and rig this FIFA and America end up winning the whole thing? We're almost there. So he pulled a little bit of strings, and America's best player is playing tonight. All eyes on FIFA World Cup tonight on Stock Sniper TV. All eyes. Freedom of Speech channel, we're going live tonight. Yeah, we're going live again. 2 good games on today, but we're going live for the America's game to see if America can pull it out. Trump just said, if America lose, the game was rigged. Bro, Trump on one today. I had a good night's sleep last night. And guess what? Trump come out in a great mood. I don't know why he is in such a good mood today. We have to see what's really going on. He's in a good mood today for some apparent reason. Is it because the strings he pulled to get America's player back in the game tonight, and they can keep on with this plan to get America to win the World Cup? We gonna see, Chad. We gonna see. So I think I'm ending right here, Chad. Appreciate y'all for joining me. This live went different than the way it was gonna go because today, big news today. The Trump accounts are live. It's January 6th. If you had a kid, a newborn, that's born within this presidency, your $1,000 is going to hit your account today. Big news today. The Trump accounts, on the most serious note, the Trump accounts for the kids are active. Don't trip that it says Trump. It is an investment account for your kids. It's very important. You go to, let me pull it up because this is very important. Where it's at. This is very important, chat. This, you know, I changed what the stream was going to be because of this. Today is January 6th, right? The Trump accounts, the investment accounts are live. If you have a newborn kid, if you have a kid in general, guess what? You want to go download the app and you want to go and sign your kids up for this Trump account. It is an investment account. Don't look at it as a Trump account. Don't do it. This right here can change the whole trajectory of your family if you have never been invested in the stock market before. It is a retirement account for your kid. What a great way to start your kid's future by opening up a retirement account for your kid. So this is very important. Jumpstart your kid's financial future. Jumpstart your child account growth with this retirement account. The age of 18. How you can jumpstart your kids' future. The power of investing. Guess what? You open up the Trump account at the age of 18, no contribution, meaning that you don't add on, which I don't know why you and your family wouldn't contribute to this investment account every year. If you did nothing, that $1,000 would be $6,000 by the time that kid turned 18. Guess what? If you contribute $250 a year, which is about what? You could do the math on $250 a year. That's a low number. That's like $20 a month. Yeah, like $25 a month. Something like that, low number. That if you did that until the kid turned 18, $250 a year contributing, it'll be $19,000. Okay. If you contribute $5,000 a year, the power of compound interest, $5,000 a year contribution. That's the max, I think, because they rolling it out like it's a Roth IRA, which is a cap on how much you can put in a Roth IRA every year. So the contribution on this is $5,000 a year, roughly $500 a month. $500 a month every week, every 2 weeks. $500 a month to put to the side for investments for your kid. That's relative. That's not nothing. And guess what? If you're consistent with this and you do it every month, every year until that kid turns 18, not only can you contribute to it, right? But your pastor, your kids' coaches, professors, whatever, family members, anybody can contribute to this investment account. The max right here. Just think about this, chat. You sign up for this Trump, it's an investment account. It's just like buying your kids stocks and just buying them stocks every month, every year, contributing for 18 years straight. By the time your kid turned 18 years old, look at that. If that kid say, you know what? I'm not going to cash out. I'm going to roll it over. This another powerful thing about this is that you can roll it over from this Trump account. You can roll the assets from these Trump accounts to your own brokerage account, whether it's Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Robinhood, whatever the case may be. You can roll it over. And once your kid turns 18, your kid can say, well, okay, I'm going to use this money for college. I'm going to use it to buy a house. I'm not going to touch it. And I'm going to keep it going. By the time your kid turns the age of 27, this is life-changing, family-changing, generational changing things. The power of investing, the power of earn, spend less, and make proper investments. The motto of the channel. Look, by the time your kid is 27, $500 a month for 18 years could put your kid right at $750,000. These are obtainable numbers. Some of these numbers like this can retire a person. Then look, I'm not even 55 yet. I'm 52. Look at this. The kid, you understand that life is a marathon and not a sprint, and you keep on contributing. The kid don't sell none of it. Just keep on adding on to it until they turn 55. Look at those numbers. That's the power of long-term investing. That's the power of it. I say it all the time on the channel. Life a marathon is not a sprint. It's the power of it. And we got to understand that. This right here can retire you at an early age. So we got to understand that. This is very, very crucial. And then you teach it to your grandkids. You teach it to your kids and grandkids, which is really, really the most powerful thing about all this is you teach them. You sit them down at the dinner table and you tell them, hey, guess what? You are an investor. You own some of these companies. Your kid might like a Happy Meal. Well, if your kid is eating a Happy Meal, you tell your son, daughter, guess what? You own a piece of this McDonald's business. You own a piece of it. You got an Apple phone. You can tell your kid, not only do you buy Apple phone, you're also part ownership of Apple, of Google, of YouTube, of Facebook, of Instagram, of Amazon, of Microsoft. You got a Dell computer, of Dell. If you got an Apple computer, you are not only a consumer, you are also part owner. So if you're going to be a consumer, meaning that you go and you spend your money with the people, why not also be an owner of the company? Because I don't care if you own one share. It's a small fraction of the overall pie, but some piece of the pie is better than none at all. And that's what you got to understand. That's a scam. Okay, if it's a scam, don't you spend money with the company? Don't you spend money with the company? How is it a scam when you are the one building the business by being a consumer? You go buy McDonald's. The hamburger is a scam. The Apple phone is a scam. You being on Google right now, that's a scam. Come on now, we got to think a little bit more clearly. You got to think a little bit more clearly about these things. Investing, becoming a business owner. That's just like, I'm going to break this down to the very lowest compound. You want to go in business, right? We're going to use a taco truck. And 4 or 5 people understand your vision. You good at making tacos. So what they do, they silent investors, right? They're silent investors and fund your taco truck. That's just like part ownership. They put up the money. You run the business. You sell all the tacos. They get us what is called a dividend on the back end because they are private investors. And the taco truck makes a lot of money because people love your tacos, which makes more money for you. That makes more money for the private investors. Is that a scam? If you live in apartments, a group of investors own that apartment building, and every month, when you pay your rent, they get a percentage of each door. It's an investment, bro. Everything is an investment. Either you're an investor or you consumer or you both. Why not be both? Why not be an investor and a consumer? Why not be an investor on the things that you buy every single day? And not thinking everything is a scam. How is investing a scam? How is owning shares of stock a scam? How is owning a house, being a landlord, how is that a scam? It don't make no sense. How is owning crypto a scam? How is owning gold and silver? How is that a scam? It's called an investment. That's the reason why it's like your 401k plan. I know you got a job, but most people that talk like that don't have a 401k plan on their job. Don't even understand how this world operates. This world operates on investments. That's how it operates. When you buy a house, it's an investment. Whether you put a down payment on it or cash it out, it's an investment. Come on now, we got to start making sense of some of these things and then wonder why. Then wonder why you can't have nothing. Come on now, we got to think a little bit more clearly. We got to make sense of some of these things. If it's a scam, why do you steady buy Apple phone? If it's a scam, why do you steady buy Dell computers? If it's a scam, why you continue to buy computers that has Microsoft programmed in it? It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense. So it's a lot going on. And we got to start thinking. We got to start planning for the future. You got to participate in your family you got to participate in the company's 401k plan. You got to set your kids up for success in these Trump accounts. A lot of people are going to, yes, talk negative about it because it got Trump name on it. It's just, I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't like that they did that. If they'd have rolled it out with just investment accounts, I think more people would want to educate themselves about it and then participate in it. It's a retirement account. Exactly what it is. So you'll be able to take care of yourself in your older years. It's a retirement account, chat. It's a retirement account. 9004, So retirement is a scam? Come on now, we got to make it make sense. Come on now. So, okay, I think I'm in it right here, chat. I will talk more about this on the walk down. So with that being said, chat, I love and I appreciate y'all. Earn, spend less, make proper investments. And yes, educating yourself about retirement accounts, educating yourself about investments is an investment. You teach it to your kids and grandkids. That's what this is all about. I talk about this all the time on the channel, about teaching investment to your kids and grandkids. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all, chat. To the next one. I'm out.